I'm sitting here February 25th, 2025, and it's Tuesday. Called off work for being sick. I'm eating some chili and some chips, and I'm revisiting some of my poetry. And I haven't been writing a lot lately, but it doesn't feel like writer's block. It's just like, now to be clear, I am sick and crying this time instead of just sick. It's just weird when like you write stuff and you kind of know what it means at the time, but not fully. And then later it shows up. And like it means more, or it's more accurate than it was when you made it, you know? And it's really kind of cool. And some of it is head hopping. Like I have a couple pieces that have nothing to do with me, kinda. And one of those is my favorite. It's called Sidewalk Chalk. And I was almost going to share it to a friend here, but I decided to divert because it's that sad, especially if you have children. And so I'm like, am I sharing sadness for sport? Am I just displaying something sensitive I wrote? And I questioned my intentions that I was just wanted company in the melancholy. So I diverted and I put something sentimental instead. And this one's pretty good, actually. I'll read this one to you. This is called 50 Flowers. Excuse me. It was, I guess it was built on the 12th of January 2023. Father had one pair of pliers. My toy box had a dozen trucks. My Tonka had 4 plastic wheels. My mother scrounged the $20. My bucket had just one handle. My bike wheels over 30 spokes. My sandbox was a tractor tire. My bath time had a couple boats. My bike ride was about 1 mile. To supper I was rarely late. To Grandma's house was half an hour. Her table set for just one plate. My childhood lasted many years, but now a year's like 40 hours. A wind chime at my mother's wake, at which I counted 50 flowers. So this kind of is relevant to what I mentioned about things hitting you more later. It kind of reinforces this notion I had about my childhood, that I was kind of very mechanical. And I guess in this poem it would be represented quantitatively. So it sounds almost like a kid who was appreciative for what he had. And it sounds kind of simple, and it sounds like they were just counting stuff, you know, like, oh, I got 4 wheels on my truck. I got over 30 spokes on my bike wheel, you know. And the opening line, Father had 1 pair of pliers, my toy box had a dozen trucks. That isn't, you know, perfect real life. Like, Dad had a couple pliers. But it's supposed to show like sacrifice, like Dad had 1 pair of pliers, but my toy box had a dozen trucks. Like it shows your parent taking priority on you. And then same with the second line with Mom buying the Tonka. And I really did have a sandbox tractor tire. And I really did have a boat in the bath. Like a lot of this is kind of autobiographical. And a wind chime at my mother's wake, at which I counted 50 flowers. I mean, yeah. I don't think there was like 50 flowers, but it sounded cool. And the wind chime, I really do have a wind chime from Mom's funeral, and it's out in the yard. I gotta remount it because it's starting to sag. But yeah, I wanted to share that with whoever, or at least document this for if I do want to share it. See ya.